All right, good evening. It's 8:04. I'm going to call a special meeting of the Board of Selectmen to order. First item of business is the Pledge of Allegiance. Charlie, would you lead us, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, all members of the Board of Selectmen are present. Our first item of business is the approval of minutes.
I'll move to approve the regular meeting minutes of September 21st, 2023.
Second. Motion has been made and seconded. Are there any corrections? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Public participation. One of two opportunities for members of the public to address the Board of Selectmen. I'll first provide anybody in the room the opportunity to address the board, and then I will ask if there's anybody online who would like to do the same. If you'd like to speak, please identify yourself by your name and your address and state your business. Yes, sir.
Paul Anderson, 89 Main Street, Broadbrook. I have some paper for you guys. The Broadbrook Mill Restoration Project is starting this coming spring, or whatever they call it, reclamation, I guess it is. And I got some information for you. Some of the first page you may have seen, you may not have, but there's a few background pages. There's some information there about what they plan to do. I will tell you, I got the complete plan from DEP. It is more than 6,200 pages. I gave you a very condensed version, but the bottom line is that the plan includes piling the nasty stuff on that property and working with the Broadbrook Mill Committee that was in existence, working with Hamilton Standard. You'll have information. We got a quote from Environmental Services for taking everything away. Their plan is to pile it up and cover it, make it, quote, impervious, which is not possible. There's no such thing as impervious because they're going to monitor it for like 100 years, which means that it will leach into the stream, the brook. There's no way around that. So I'm giving this to you guys because I think the town should take a position. Interestingly enough, the legal notice, which you have a copy of, was published on the 25th of September, which means the 24th of October is the last day that you could submit comments. That's not a lot of time when you got to go through over 6,000 pages of stuff, which takes about 15 minutes to download. It's a single PDF file. It's a nightmare, which to me is unreasonable, but that's the way it is. I gave you a sample of what my comments may be, just for whatever it's worth. I haven't finalized that yet, but I will be commenting because the people in this town do not want that material piled up behind the church, and that's their plan. It stinks, and for less than $500,000 it can all go away. That is a quote from Environmental Services. Whether that price is any good today has nothing to do with it. To monitor that pile of material continuously for year after year after year, it's going to cost a fortune. And anything goes wrong and it's going to cost even more. So this makes no sense at all. So I just presented to you because it took me over a week to figure out how to even get the plan. And now that I got it, I took some time and went through it and pulled out a little bit of the stuff that matters about that one aspect. The rest of it is, you know, and a lot of material is planning to leave, but there's a lot they want to keep there. So I just didn't want you to miss the opportunity. Enough on that.
We will be submitting comment.
I would not be surprised.
Other public comment. Yes, sir. Name and address, please.
I'm Keith Gagaloff, 125 Depot Street. I actually came here tonight without any plans to make a comment. And just hearing what Paul had to say, I'm gonna make a comment. So I was on the Broadbrook Mill Committee for over 2 years. And we met with the UTC and we met with the company. And they agreed not to leave it there. Well, last time I was on the committee. And it was reported, a lot of stories in the paper, they said they were gonna remove it, and the cost back then, Paul, was under $250,000, maybe the prices have changed. We went through all of this, the town was represented at meetings, they were represented at meetings. They had to have a public hearing, and the town was fully engaged with them in terms of next steps. And we did not want that pollution. That site is contaminated with 2 things, one is coal ash. The entire property is covered with coal ash. Coal ash is dangerous, but once it's under the ground, it's not considered to be dangerous. And there's a lot of sites around the country with coal ash, and if they bury it, it's okay. But that property has hotspots of carcinogens. And we went through the list of the carcinogens, and we had newspaper stories on it, was reported out to the public. I'm talking about chromium, heavy metals. They had plating vats that were in that facility with heavy metals and dangerous chemicals and arsenic and everything else. And when the fire happened, those vats collapsed and all of those things went into the ground. And there are hot spots in the ground exactly where they were storing these dangerous carcinogens. And they have to pull them out of the ground. And instead of pulling them out of the ground and putting them on a truck and paying the $250,000, now $500,000 to remove them from the site, they decided they're gonna put them under a tarp behind the church. And we had a committee for 2 years dealing with this. And we stopped them. They said they put a complete stop to their plans. They stopped entirely moving forward with their project. It was reported on the paper. They said, we're not moving forward with this project. We're gonna delay the public hearings. We're gonna figure this thing out, and then we're gonna be good citizens. You can't put the stuff under a tarp. A flood, if the Broadbrook Pond floods, and there's torrents of water right now in these rains, you should see them, not just if you go down there, not just the dam, the other side of the road, it's a torrent of water. If that site floods, it's gonna wash those carcinogens straight out from under that tarp into neighborhoods and down the stream. Here's the thing, and I wasn't gonna say anything political. This is not a political message. You guys, 4 years ago, didn't renew the mill committee. And the first selectman said he was gonna take this on his own. And he said he was gonna take it up on his own, and I asked him what's going on with this, and he said it's confidential because he's negotiating with UTC. He says he can't disclose it because it's being negotiated. Nothing has happened from the town. There hasn't been a single meeting where you reported about it. You haven't mentioned it once in 4 years.
So that's been 3 minutes, sir.
Okay. You gotta stop this. It's not okay to leave carcinogens in East Windsor.
Any other public comment? Yes, sir. Name and address, please.
Tom Buckley, Ames Court, Broadbrook. Curious question, why would they want to leave it there at the beginning? Behind the church, on the surface.
Their plan makes no sense to me either.
Correct.
You probably have no place for the traffic to go.
No place to go, gotta go somewhere. You can't stay there.
Other public comment? Anybody online who would like to address members of the board? Even one mic on. Seeing none, we'll move on. Okay, communications. So first of all, in your packet, you will see that we have the USDA has finally released the funding for the community center. That's the official notification that came in. Very exciting to share that. That project is now out to bid, and that it'll be awarded just before Thanksgiving. We have a resignation. Peter Sanders, rather, as an alternate member of the Veterans Commission, is stepping down so he can take a full seat. I have a motion to accept his resignation.
Move to accept the resignation of Peter Sanders as an alternate member of the Veterans Commission.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Our new appointment, Peter Sanders, is a regular member of the Veterans Commission.
Move to appoint Peter Sanders as a regular member of the Veterans Commission as a term, for a term expiring March 1st, 2025.
Second.
Any discussion?
I'd just like to say that Peter is an active member of the commission. He's the treasurer as well, and he's it's really great that he's getting involved as a regular member. He's an asset to the commission for sure.
Absolutely true. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Okay, so in the legislature's biennial budget this year, we received a legislative earmark for the acquisition of a new senior center van. Total project cost is $150,000. The contract provided for by the Department of Aging and Disability Services is included in the packet. This has been asked to form contract that's approved by the Attorney General in order to release the funding to us and move forward with the acquisition of the bus. I need authorization from the board to sign it. Are there any questions or comments prior to taking action? No. I'll just say I'm excited to get an extra $150,000 included in the budget. That was one of a number of really pleasant surprises this year.
Okay. Make a motion that we authorize the first selectman to sign the grant agreement between the state of Connecticut and the town of East Windsor on behalf of the East Windsor Senior Center bus replacement and other equipment.
Is there a second? Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. 8B, so it's been, as you all will be familiar, it's been the practice of this board for the last 2 years, now in our third, to work with Westfield State University's Masters of Public Administration program on some sort of an organizational behavior project relative to the town of East Windsor and utilizing the graduate students to do some independent research. Chief Carl was in the first group that we worked with. I also am in love with the program. I love it. I think it's a great, they have a very community-minded approach to their studies. It's worked well for us in the past. We've done constituent services and community services, customer service improvements in our land use departments. We did economic development and communications activities the second year, and this year is in light of the community sector project, is looking at efficiencies in the community service departments. Questions or comments on this?
Those were great experiences when they came before us and each explained what they were doing. It was really, that was good.
And I'll be back again.
Good. I think it's a good program.
I'll move to approve the memorandum of understanding between the town of East Windsor and Westfield State University MPA program.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. All in favor?
For signature.
Oh, yeah. Can we amend that to include authorization for my signature?
Oh, yeah. Yes, amend that to say include the signature of the first selectman.
Okay, motion has been made and seconded to approve the MOU and authorize my signature. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Okay, so this is, the next thing is a piece of good news. We have some constituents on Mill Street who would like to donate some property abutting town land to the town of East Windsor. It went to the Planning and Zoning Commission in April for an 824 referral. There was a little communication issue between the planning office and mine. It came through as Mary Callahan as the the person making the donation instead of Nancy Callahan. So when Nancy Callahan was following up, you know, we discovered with the communication. So It's had the 824 referral. It needs to be approved by the Board of Selectmen and then ultimately by a town meeting if you want to move forward with it.
So I see in the minutes that Commissioner Bovin had some questions. Is it landlocked? Do we know,
Map for you.
what we could possibly use it for?
Not a lot. It's only 2/10 of an acre. Where's my? Oh. It is a landlocked parcel.
We own 117,
Yeah, this is us.
no, 17. Now, isn't that the dog park or the dog pound?
No, the dog pound is. Here. This is the dog pound.
Okay.
This is a landlocked parcel behind 156 Main, and we own the other landlocked parcel right here. It abuts.
It doesn't abut you.
Jeff's.
It doesn't,
Yeah, this is Jeff right here.
yeah, but it doesn't attach to him. There's a sliver between.
Yeah, that's like the notch and that where Southwick should be south of Connecticut. It's like a surveyor.
Still. It's what it is.
So yeah, but it does, this is us. It does not touch Jeff. That's your question?
So how do we access it? Like, is,
Well, technically non-conforming lot. So what ought to happen is it ought to be sold off to an abutting property. There are a number of parcels like that around town that need to be cleaned up.
okay,
Planning has been putting together an index of those for a while, ultimately, so that we can take the slivers and reunite them with adjacent properties. She wants to make the donation to the town, though she wasn't interested in selling it to neighbors, or neighbors weren't interested in taking it, I'm not sure which.
Is it gonna serve any purpose if we take it? No, it's either it won't.
Not really, no. It's up to you guys. She's made the offer. It's gone through the initial referral process. I just want to circle back with her one way or the other, whatever our. If we're not going to move forward with it, I want to communicate that to her. If we are going to move forward with it, then we need to get this scheduled for a town meeting.
Expense wise, when we sell off property like that, do we have to go through the process of surveying, deeding, finding out whether there are liens on the property?
I would imagine we'd have to do a title. So we haven't actually sold anything since we've been in office, though.
So it's gonna cost us money to sell this property.
Probably,
You have to do it.
yeah.
We could recoup that in the sale. I don't think so because it's a landlocked. Well, unless that one or other abutter, one of two abutters want it.
You have to buy it and build a bridge.
You know, it doesn't work that way.
No,
I have no need.
Al, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm struggling with this a little bit, just from the standpoint, you know, the Public Works has come to us with these types of parcels, you know, trying to get
They
rid
do
of
not
them.
like it.
And, you know, if a tree falls off onto a neighbor's property, we have to pay for it. So, I don't see any incentive for us to take it. It doesn't, I mean, it does attach to the other property that we have, but I don't see a need for that either. I'd like to see that sold. So, I don't think we should take it.
Anybody think to the contrary?
You need a motion?
Nope, just guys, no.
I mean, it was a nice offer.
Thank you, but
Tax refunds.
Move to approve the tax refunds totaling $4,845.63.
second,
You said 4,000, right?
Yes,
I heard 8,000.
oh, I'm sorry.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
I,
Opposed? Okay. We have one of the four outstanding South Road parcels, a new letter of intent to purchase the underlying land has come in. Same deal, this has been through planning and zoning for an 824 referral. When all the parcels went through, the selectmen need to approve it, and then it needs to go to town meeting if we're going to do that. We have one more that's pending, and that'll be on the next scheduled town meeting. Questions or comments? Good, without a motion?
No, it wasn't in my original packet that I picked up. It was, so
Right.
I'm just
Oh,
pulling it up online here on my email. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just trying. We just need to get to town meeting.
We need to accept the land track transfer acknowledgement agreement for the recommendation.
Move to accept the land transfer and acknowledgement and agreement of 5 South Road, East Windsor, Connecticut, lot number 011360001. And forward that to a town meeting.
second,
I remember reading that, but I don't see it.
Not yesterday. It's already noticed.
In addition.
It's the same letter that's been used in the other 14 instances. So a motion's been made
and seconded.
and seconded.
So we only have one left,
We have 3 left.
3 left.
Yes.
4 this one. I thought you said that.
So we already sent one.
We approved one that's waiting for a town meeting. This one will be, if approved by the board, will be scheduled with that other one that's already queued up for a town meeting. And then there are 3 outstanding that I think are gonna be difficult to close out.
Yeah, there.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, thank you. Selectmen's reports. First off, as I've shared before, I'm very excited that last week the Permanent Building Commission approved the bid notice for the community center project, which was put out to bid. This is the culmination of a lot of hard work by many people, and we're very grateful for that team effort. Bid submissions will be publicly opened next month, at which time the commission will recommend the bid award to the Board of Selectmen, and then we are off to the races with that project. Each week, on a regular basis, I meet with different clusters of overlapping town departments and agencies to do a deeper dive into what they might be working on. This is in contrast to the regular monthly senior staff meetings that we hold, which kind of touch base on topics across the town government, but on a higher level. On the 25th, I met with Public Safety Cluster, which consists of the police department, both fire departments, East Windsor Ambulance, and the fire marshal. Fire departments are currently working on implementation of requirements of Public Act 22-139, which in large part addresses firefighter cancer risks. This bill is an example of legislative intent not aligning with practical applicability, but the departments are working through their new mandates. The police department is in the process of interviewing and hiring new police officers, which we heard a little bit about earlier. With a number of offer letters expected to go out in the next several weeks. We look forward to welcoming them to our townwide team. Emergency management has been very active, planning cross-disciplinary active shooter trainings to be held as both tabletop exercises and live role playing. We're looking for grant funding opportunities, but also will likely seek to build this into the town's budget next year. Public safety representatives have also been doing considerable due diligence on a replacement for the town's emergency radio system. Current system is nearly 10 years beyond its useful life and in need of replacement. So to do that due diligence, we've been working with radio consultants to formulate options for the town, which include building our own new system, participating in a multi-town option, or joining the state system. All of these options come with both challenges and opportunities. Furthering that discussion around those options, we met collectively with a representative from the Windsor Fire Department last week, who just recently went through the same type of review and replacement project. We've scheduled a follow-up meeting with the Windsor Town Manager's Office for later this month to learn more. Everyone has probably noticed that the road work being done along Route 5 is mostly complete. DOT looks to have done a really good job. We also completed work on Wells Road, which did take a little bit longer than we expected, but is a vast improvement over what it was like prior to that work being done. We still expect to do work on North Water Street and Stoughton Road this year. Other projects that are in process and expected to be completed this fall, including the replacement of generators at the Town Hall Annex and the Town Garage, and completion of the new playground at East Windsor Park. The site work for that is about half done, and substantial construction should be completed by the end of this month. Next year, we're looking forward to the installation of pickleball courts at Osborne Field and gazebos at Volunteer Park. This week, Chief Carl, all of us and representatives of the Police Commission held interviews with candidates for the position of Deputy Chief of Police. All 4 applicants are very well qualified and will be a great addition to the leadership team at the police department. We expect to make an announcement in the coming weeks on the outcome of those. Yesterday, we concluded tours of our public schools hosted by Dr. Tudrin and the Board of Education, and including members of our board, Board of Finance, and Capital Improvement Committee. The town is working with Dr. Tudrin and his team on a number of initiatives that should move our schools forward, including HVAC systems, roof replacements, engineering for the replacement of the high school track, and a full facility strategic plan. These plans collectively will help the town and the schools understand short, medium, and longer term needs for our school facilities, budget for their implementation, and seek outside funding where possible. Just a reminder that the Scarecrow contest starts next week, with the theme being East Windsor Strong, and whatever that means to you. Scarecrows can go up on the 13th, and judging will begin on the 18th. We are also looking forward to defending our title at the Haunted Highway, and I understand there's gonna be a picture of the town staff holding a trophy this year right next to a police cruiser. So we're looking forward to that. And finally, I want to join, and I'd ask you to join me in congratulating Luann McIntosh on her retirement from town service. After nearly 20 years, she began her career as a driver at the senior center and finished as an aide in the assessor's office. We wish Luann a long, happy, and healthy retirement. That's all I have. What do you got?
I want to apologize to the commission meeting that I attended at the Water Pollution Control Agency, as I don't have my report ready due to personnel issues the last couple of weeks that have not complied. So I apologize for that. But I do want to ask, they have openings on that board, and they're asking to get the word out to the public and see if anybody's interested. I believe there's 2. My mind serves me correctly. 2 available. So if anybody's interested, forms are available in the Selectmen office. Feel free to have them fill it out and see where we can go from there. But that's all I got. I've attended all the meetings that I needed to attend to, and one of the functions that I needed to do, which I haven't had time to put in. So I do apologize.
Thank you. Charlie. I don't have much new. Royals Point Fire did not meet this past Monday due to a lack of a quorum. We're going to be meeting next Monday. And I would like to thank all of the people who came out to the Royals Point Pig Roast. It was a great success. There were a lot of people there. And I'd also like to thank all of the participants who donated raffle prizes. It was a huge collaboration, and I think they did very well in their fundraising for that event. And that's all I have.
What was the head count, you know? There had to be 200 people when I was there.
There was, I heard of 200 chairs set up and, you know, they weren't all filled at one time, but they probably all had been sat in at one point or another. And so I would guess a good 250 at least that would participate. It was a great thing.
Also, the bouncy house in the back was a big hit.
Yes.
Al,
Okay, wetlands, approved a single family residence, on Borough Road, which was done as a public hearing because, it's a fairly sensitive area, but it looks like it's gonna be a great plan and that was approved. The other thing that they did was accept a demo permit for the mill site. That will be heard at the next wetlands meeting. So the plan is that they just want to take all the buildings away, just everything away. It's not the purview of the wetlands, commission, and maybe it's part of planning and zoning, but I think we should also maybe get involved from the standpoint of, there's a lot of brownstone there, and I know the last time we were in negotiations about what to do with the site, it was something that I know I was thinking, and maybe others too, that all that brownstone should go to the historical society. It shouldn't be just, well, whatever they're gonna do with it, probably sell it, I don't know. But it shouldn't just be thrown in a dumpster, and I would like to see that go to the historical society, at least everything that's salvageable. That was all they had. Planning and zoning accepted an application for 74 craftsmen and 74 Newberry and 9 craftsmen, which is currently corn and mulch on Newberry Road in the industrial park. That's, I think I reported on that as part of wetlands. It's the new Penske site, so they're gonna be hearing that, I think, at their next meeting. And they're also in the process of a public hearing for self-storage on the corner of Abbey and Unified. Agricultural Commission is wrapping up the community garden for the year. They're still in the process of trying to figure out how they can get a shed over there. They have a member that builds those sheds and is donating the lumber and the labor, or at least the labor. And so they just want to get that worked out with the town on where to put that and how to do that. So that's still in process. And that's to keep all their stuff that they have. They have a mower and, you know, stakes and a bunch of other things that they need to, that the person now are getting hauled back to various members' houses for the winter and whatnot. Conservation Commission is continuing to work on refining, which is their main mission, refining their list of the prime farmland in town. They compiled the list of, you know, open land that is farmable, and now are going through it and looking at every piece and estimating how much of it is prime farmland, how much is you know, at least farmland, if not prime. So they're going through that process, and that's of course important. So we have somewhere to target if we intend on conserving as a town any farmland. That would be the list that we want to be working off of. They're also doing a letter to which has probably gone out by now. They're doing a letter to the siting council in opposition to any more solar town.
yeah, on Tuesday.
Went on Tuesday. Okay, good. I'm gonna yield the balance of my time to Representative Muska.
Okay, Jason touched on this a little bit, but on September 25th, the building commission met. The commission reviewed the bid documents that were presented to them and unanimously voted to approve and post the bid package for the community center. There will be a pre-bid conference held at Scout Hall on October 19th to give bidders the opportunity to visit the site. The opening of the bids will be public on November 16th at 11 a.m. here at Town Hall in this room. It will also be on Zoom. The bidders will be presented to the building commission, and then they will forward their recommendations on to the Board of Selectmen. It is important to note that the town must follow certain procedures, rules, and stipulations due to the USDA being invested into this project. There will also be representation from the USDA at the bid opening, either in person or virtually. On September 27th, I attended the reveal of the One School, One Book mural with artist Sharon Apria. The superintendent Principal Laura Fox, Vice Principal Matthew Ryan, and members of the Board of Education and Arts and Culture Committee. I'm glad that Sharon was joined by her husband, son, and members of her family as she was recognized for her beautiful artwork. It was really a nice night for Sharon, and it's great to hear all the positive feedback and great reactions from students, parents, and staff. Following that, the Board of Education met. There was discussion amongst board members to consider changing the times of their meetings from 7:30 to 7 p.m. The Board Policy and Review Subcommittee will assess this and report back to the whole group their recommendation. 40 middle school students have signed up for middle school cross country, which replaced soccer due to lack of enrollment. There will also be correspondence going out from the high school about concerns with vaping, and there will be assemblies and activities scheduled to discuss. A curriculum update focusing on analyzing student achievement was given by Daryl Rouliard. Data was given on math, literacy, and science. And although the data shows an upward trend, we are staying within the top third of the Alliance District. East Windsor students are not consistently meeting grade level standards as assessed by state and national assessments, but a plan is in effect to help teachers improve daily delivery of instruction and align instruction practices to help struggling students succeed. This is a work in progress and we are headed in the right direction. I did attend 2 events over the weekend, the Warehouse Point Fire Department Pig Roast, which was already mentioned. Kudos to Heather Mitchell for obtaining so many wonderful raffle prizes, and thank you to all the small businesses in town that contributed. It was an amazing turnout and fun for people of all ages. And on Sunday, I attended the food drive at East Windsor Park, which was sponsored by the Arts and Culture Committee. And it was a beautiful day, lots of live music and talented artists had booths there. And 7 bins of food were collected for the 5-corner cupboard. And I also joined Marie, Jason, and other members of the community to tour the high school last night. And just a personal moment, there's plaques for East Windsor Athletic Hall of Fame members, which I wasn't really aware of, and it was really cool to see my dad's plaque hanging. He was inducted in, I believe it was 1998, for basketball, soccer, and baseball. So that was a real proud moment. And that's all I have.
Very nice. This is the second public participation, same rules as before. I'm going to first ask if there's anybody in the room who would like to address the board, and then I'll offer the same opportunity to anybody who's online. If you'd like to speak, please identify yourself by your name and address. Yes, sir.
Paul Anderson, 89 Main Street, Broadwood. First, I'd like to thank you, Jason, for sending me this update from the water company. For those who don't know, and I'm not gonna read this, it's gonna be simple. They hope to be done with the project early December. And during December, they'll be doing some repair work on the road. DOT will control all of that. And in the spring, they expect to get the final paving done. So that's a good thing. The Broadbrook Library has sample ballots available. Anybody who wants one, come to the library, pick it up, have a good time. You got a stack of them. We think it's important for people to be able to review the ballot prior to the election to understand who's there, who's where, because they may not even know all the people that are running at this point. So those are available and we will keep producing them as necessary.
When people pick those up, stress that they're two-sided.
Yeah, well, it's very clear on the ballot. Okay, on both sides, so it's very good. And the last thing I want to talk about is Park and Rec contacted me about the scouthall.com website. They had concerns the way things were worded, and they were getting inundated with calls for party rentals, which at this point in time, they're not considering. So I had Melissa actually supply me with whatever she wanted to say. And that's on our website now, attributed to Park and Rec, and that kind of hopefully will reduce the problem. It won't go away. There's a lot of people who were renting there for years and they're not looking at the website, they're just calling. But anyhow, we try to cooperate. We'll continue to try to cooperate, and make everything work. So far, everything's working just fine.
Thank you very much. Other questions or comments? Anybody online who would like to address the members of the Board of Selectmen? Seeing none, a motion to adjourn would be in order.
Move that we adjourn at 8:44 PM.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned.
About the